One day you're living your life just like people told you to, following all the rules, everything looks normal except you don't feel yourself. That's what happened to me. I was pushing 30, was in a relationship I didn't understand anymore, and my artistic aspirations were basically forgotten due to day-to-day very real, very overwhelming problems, and it hit me. This is actually not what I want. So I'm confronted with a choice. Either I keep going on that path, after all, if everybody's going that way, it must be the right way, no? Or I shake things up. I never considered myself a brave person, quite the opposite. I've always run from big decisions, big changes, big commitments. But when that choice came to me, I decided not to just shake things up, but to open the lid and let everything flow away. I left everything that I knew behind and followed my heart towards the greatest adventure of my life. Hi guys, welcome to my channel. I'm Mariana, and in this video I'm gonna share a bit more about my life, specifically how I ended up living in the Netherlands as an au pair and how it changed my life. I'm so used to this part of my life now that it never occurred to me that it could be interesting to other people. As you may know from my previous videos, I live in France now, but before arriving here in a Flixbus with 2 bags and a backpack, a story for another time, I spent a year living in the Netherlands. But let's go through parts. I'm so sorry that I don't have more footage. I never thought that a few years later I would share this with you on YouTube. All I have are photos and silly videos from that time. So I was born and raised in Brazil, not at all from a rich family. I never left the country. My very small trip diaries consisted of a few cities not far from home. I honestly never thought I could travel far, even though I dreamed of visiting many other countries. To me, it was just that, a dream I could never achieve. My reality at the time would not allow me even to turn that dream into a future project. Living with a partner with different dreams than mine at the time, I would not allow myself to think any further. What was the point, right? But this desire never left. I kept thinking there was more to life than that. At the time, a friend of mine did something I heard about once but never considered for myself, as I'm very introverted and private person. That was an au pair program. Basically, you go and live with a family, take care of their kids, and get some pocket money and accommodations for that. I couldn't imagine being someone's guest for a year, and even worse, taking care of kids every day. It didn't sound so appealing to me. Except that the country was the Netherlands, the beautiful tulip country, home of Van Gogh, Vermeer, and Rembrandt. Don't ask me about their this pronunciation. It was just next to many other countries with as much or even more potential for wonder. On top of all that, the au pair program was the least expensive way to travel and visit all these places that just a few months ago I wouldn't even dare to imagine visiting. So as my friend encouraged me and my relationship went downhill, I decided that I had not much to lose and a lot to see. I'd like to tell you that I hopped on the next plane as easy as that, but it didn't happen right away. That was around 2017. I had no job. I had to let go of my beloved rented apartment and live in a tiny studio in my hometown, all a while studying for my second degree. But I had a vision for the first time in my life. I knew what I wanted. I just needed money, as simple as that. After a few months full of distress, I graduated, found a freelance job that would help me pay the bills and save some money, and even found a new love. I kept saving money and enjoying my life because life goes on. At the end of 2018, I finally had enough money and felt confident enough to take the next step. To be an au pair in the Netherlands, you need to sign up an agent. It will guide you through all the paperwork and find a family that matches your profile. So I found one. Like I said, I'm not the bravest person, so even after making the decision, I took my time to get things done. I was terrified every step of the way. What if I don't find a family? What if I find a family and they take advantage of me? What if I actually can't speak English? What if the agency decides that I'm not kind enough to take care of kids? What if I find myself all alone in a strange country whose language I don't even speak? What if I hate it? I'd have wasted years and money for nothing. I can assure you that the delay on me getting the paperwork done was 800% because of my fear. Some irrational and others not so much. The rest was me thinking about leaving my family, my cat, my boyfriend, and all I've ever known in Brazil. I literally sold most of my belongings to afford a plane ticket, if I remember correctly. But I kept going because I already knew the alternative. Once that part was over, I easily found a family, of course, and things went so fast from that point. I celebrated my 30 years old birthday with my family, and by the beginning of November 2019, they all brought me to the airport. We said goodbye, and my new life began. When the plane landed, I was shaking from head to toe. Not only because I've never felt that cold in my life, but also because I was supposed to be picked up by this family with whom I only spoke 2 or 3 times. Completely strangers, and what if they never show up? Well, of course they did. They had a Brazilian flag, and the kids were adorable and shy, not knowing exactly what was going on. And on the way to my new home, I felt overwhelmed with the long flight, but mostly with that country's beauty. Their language at that point went into my ears just like some random noise. My English was still starting to kick in, and I desperately needed a shower and a bed. My bed. All my fears about being mistreated and abandoned all by myself were nonsense. They made me feel at home and gave me all the support I needed. I, someone who's not used to asking for help, was so touched and at the same time so uncomfortable to find these people that actually care about me and for what I had to say. Honestly, I had a great au pair experience. Of course, nothing is perfect, but from my end, I couldn't ask for better. Some of the friends I made that year weren't that lucky, and I say that so you don't think that I'm biased. This is my point of view, so I can only tell my story. I was having the time of my life. A month after I arrived, I had booked a trip to Eastern Europe with people I never met before. It was beyond my dreams. Really. Every time I stepped foot outside, I had a new experience. I was afraid and amazed all the time. I met one of my best friends. I saw rich people up close and how they live. I tried new things. I hopped on my bike every day and explored the cities around. And on the weekends with my free pass, I would explore the country, the museums, the cafes, the thrift shops, and all the beautiful alleys and canals I could find. For the first time in my life, I was open to whatever comes my way. I had no idea what was coming my way. In March 2020, COVID struck the world in a vertiginous speed. You all know that, and I won't talk about it. To be honest, I don't think I have recovered completely from that. As you can imagine, my year of wonder became a nightmare very quickly. Some friends went back home to be close to their families. Everyone was afraid and depressed. I canceled all my plans as well as everybody else, but I decided to stay. Nobody knew how long it would last, but I had invested everything in being there, and I thought that I'd be better spend the quarantine in the Netherlands than in my hometown, as things in Brazil were so unstable and not safe. Luckily, I never regretted my decision. It was hard and a lot has changed, and I was not mentally well. I feared for my family, my workload increased, and I had not one thing to keep my mind from the end of the world. But I stayed. And by the summer, the country has decided it would enjoy the nice days whether the virus was around or not. With a lot of restrictions lifted, life became lighter, even though I felt uneasy whenever I was around other people within a safe distance. That summer, me and my bike went places. Avoiding public transportation at all costs, I'd find fields, lakes, and forests and spend the day exploring with my friends. Or we'd make dinner at someone's family's house and talk until late night. My favorite thing was to ride back home with my earphones on and feel the cold breeze in the deserted lanes, or to bike to the beach and watch the most beautiful sunsets all by ourselves. That's it, guys. I hope this video gave you the courage to take that leap into something that you thought was never possible for you. Oftentimes, the only thing between us and our dreams are us. Thanks for watching, and I'll see you next time. Bye! By the end of my year in the Netherlands, I felt that my range of emotions had increased and that I was capable of anything. I was still afraid, but I felt brave. It was the first time I understood when they say courage is not the lack of fear, but acting despite it. I learned to love in different ways too. I understood better the meaning of friendship and camaraderie. My glow up came from inside. I matured more that year than in all other that came before. I didn't travel much as I thought I would, but I learned to be more gentle with myself, to trust myself. It was also the seed to make other big decisions, because after that year, I felt capable of changing as many times as necessary. And starting over didn't sound so daunting